Making mistakes while learning English could be a reason why people give up learning altogether. Because everybody expects to be perfect, best at doing something, and nobody actually accepts that they are full of flaws, full of mistakes, and full of problems. And this thing also happened to me when I was trying to learn an American accent, because I have always wanted to have an American accent, because this was what I wanted. It was my desire to have an American accent when I spoke English. So basically, I went out there and tried to learn American accent by listening to American speakers on YouTube. There are some YouTubers on out there who are really perfect American speakers. They're native American speakers, and their English is very good. So obviously they're native speakers. So I try to copy and mimic the way they spoke English, the way they used English, and the way everything they did. I just wanted to have their way. I just wanted to copy and mimic their way of speaking. So I did so, and I listened to them, and then afterwards I tried to speak English, trying to copy them, trying to mimic their way of speaking. And I found out that I'm really not good at doing this. I'm really making a lot of mistakes. I'm really far away from the way they speak. My speaking manners, my way of speaking was very different than their way of speaking. And that showed that I was not perfect, that I was very bad actually in doing so. So that led me to almost disappointment, because I didn't want myself to feel that way. And then when I found out that I am in that position that I don't want to be in, I felt disappointed, because of a natural tendency to be perfect. So this problem got me when I was learning an American accent. But fortunately, I found out that even native speakers are not perfect at speaking English. Even though English is their first language, even though they've been speaking English ever since they were a baby, they're still not perfect at speaking English. They still make a lot of mistakes when they're using the language, and they're still full of flaws. Because I heard it from a native speaker who was saying that we as native speakers make a lot of mistakes when we are using English. When even we're speaking English, we make a lot of mistakes in terms of grammar, in terms of pronunciation, or whatever it is. They keep making mistakes as native speakers. So the truth really got to me at that point when I heard that native speaker say these words, because at that point I started not to expect myself to be perfect at speaking English. And I also learned that we as human beings are imperfect. No matter how close we are, or no matter how much we train a certain skill in life, we are always bound to making mistakes. We are always bound to being imperfect in that certain skill. No matter how much we practice, no matter how much time we spend with that thing, it doesn't matter. The thing that is the general truth all across the world is that we are always imperfect as human beings. So at that point, I started not to expect myself to be better at English. I never expected myself to be perfect at English. And I started to expect myself to learn gradually by making mistakes, obviously. So if you are also someone who is constantly expecting yourself to be perfect at English and be better at speaking and showing your English skills, and you always want to be better and best, no flaws or mistakes, if you have this mindset, then this is a point for you to start to shift your mindset towards something that is more realistic and more achievable. And that is not expecting yourself to be perfect at learning English, but just trying to learn gradually. Having this mindset that you are actually learning English, you're actually growing gradually. It's not something that happens magically all of a sudden, but something that can be worked on, can improve, can progress gradually and slowly until it gets to a point where you are actually at the point where you always want yourself to be. But still you're not perfect, still you're not going to be perfect even at that point where you always wanted yourself to be, because as I told you in the video, we are not perfect. We are not meant to be perfect as human beings. So accepting this truth is going to help you so much in learning English, and it's going to push you so much forward in terms of becoming better, and in terms of learning you're learning that you are actually meant to get a lot of things done in English, and you are meant to getting a lot better and becoming fluent in English. So fluency actually becomes way easier if you accept this truth in your mind, like not just say it in your by words, just accepting it in your head that you are imperfect, that you're bound to making mistakes, that you are a human being, your nature is imperfection, and you are not meant to be perfect. This is going to help a lot, and this is going to get you to a point where you always want to get to, and learning English becomes easy this way. So make sure you shift your mindset and shift it towards something that is more meaningful, that is more realistic.